everybody, Brian here at Acne Be Gone. You know, I was waking up this morning, and as I was like slowly making my way out of bed, I started thinking about all the things that I needed to do this morning. You know, I had a bunch of errands to run. For the most part, I really enjoy being able to work from home and getting things done from home, but I also, you know, encounter these days where I have to step outside. I have to go to the bank, I have to go to the post office, I gotta go to the utilities place, I gotta go make copies of this. And, you know, it was just one of those days where I was gonna be outside for a really long period of time. And I started thinking about all those times where I would be confronted with the decision of having to either A, going out and accomplishing all the things that I needed to get done, or B, staying inside and not having to let anyone see my face. You see, there was a time where I was really busted up in the face. Like, I had really bad acne, cystic acne. I had pimples everywhere, neck, back, shoulders, everywhere, especially my face, obviously. And there was a time where I wouldn't step foot outside the door. All this coming right up. So just to kind of give you guys an overview of what was my obsession with like staying indoors. When I was a lot younger, like in my preteen and my teen years, I had first developed acne. And at the time, you know, you don't really know what to make of it. You know that it's not something that everyone else experiences, but nevertheless, you're just like, whatever, you know, I want to go out, I want to have fun, I want to play with my friends, you know, I want to be a kid. Well, as I got older, I started realizing that I wanted to go outside and see the world, or to put it in another way, to let the world see me less and less. You see, I started to realize that my face wasn't like everybody else's. Like, I was breaking out all the time. So as I got older, I wanted to stay home more. Now, I didn't really have this opportunity when I was like in middle school and high school, but when I got to college, I finally hit this place where I was able to finally stay at home. You know, I didn't have to go out. When you go to college, you know, you only have a couple of classes. You might not even have to work, so you might be living off of student loans and things like that. So there's very few reasons to ever leave the dorm to begin with, all right? The main premise of going to college is A, getting your education, and B, socializing as much as you possibly can. Well, for me, I wanted to socialize as least as possible. I didn't want anyone to see me. So when I was in college, you know, I would go through these really long bouts of depression, one, but I would also go through these like really long bouts of like being a hermit. So I wouldn't step outside my dorm. I would actually stock up on food, supplies, toiletries, anything that I needed. I would stock up on it for a couple of days, and I'd always have like a reservoir just in case I broke out too badly where it was like, I don't even want to step foot outside my door. Now, don't get me wrong, like I still had acne, and there were times where I was like, it's not a big deal. Like, I can deal with this. But there were times where I would get these really bad bumps, and I would just be like, I'm not going anywhere. There's no way I'm stepping foot outside this door and meeting eyes with anybody else. I didn't want nobody to see me. Half the time when I was talking to other people, they weren't even meeting my eyes anyway because they were too preoccupied with the giant zit that was on my face. And, you know, I can't really blame them. I'd probably be doing the exact same thing. So it's like, there's no judgment there, but it was like, it was very difficult for me to accept that. It was very difficult for me to like face that. So when I didn't have to, I would just stay in my dorm for as long as possible. I remember staying inside my dorm for 4 or 5 days one time. And I would do this so that I wouldn't have to ever see anybody else's face. But it was really mostly so that they wouldn't have to see my face. Now, while I was in my dorm or my apartment at the time, whatever you want to call it, what I would do is I would kind of like close out the blinds or shut the blinds. I would turn the lights off, and I'd maybe have like the television on. And the reason why I would do this is because I didn't want my roommate to see me either. You get what I'm saying? So I was like living like a modern era Dracula, if you will, because I was just like, I can't, like the light of day can't even see me right now. So I would do this all the time. Another thing that I would do while I was there inside is I would like look in the mirror and I would stare at myself for like hours on end. And I would just like degrade myself. I would say the worst things to myself. I would say these like very harmful, you know, phrases and sayings that would ultimately like affect my self-esteem really badly. And not only that, but I would indulge in like self-destructive behavior. So I would drink, I would do drugs, unfortunately. I would do a variety of different things that just like weren't productive in the least.
That can't be right.
when I was waking up this morning, I started thinking, I'm like, all right, I can go outside now, and it's not even like a second thought. Like I just like take a shower, put on my clothes, and I'm out. But there was a time where it's like that was very, very difficult to do. Like I had to make sure that I was able to like, to a certain extent, like face myself in the mirror. Like. Now the reason I bring this up is because I realized that I'm not the only person who has dealt with this. At the time, I definitely felt like I was alone. There was nobody else who was dealing with this. I was the only one with acne. But come to think of it now, it's like I probably didn't see anybody else who had really bad acne because they were probably experiencing the exact same thing. And it makes sense, who wants to go out and face the world when you can barely face yourself? And this is at least how I felt at the time. It was very difficult for me to look at myself in the mirror, hence why I would turn off all the lights at the time where I was home and nobody else was, so I wouldn't even have to see myself. And that makes sense. So I want to let you guys know that I understand how you feel. A lot of people don't really get this. A lot of people can't even fathom what it's like to be so like with yourself that it's like you don't even want to step outside. And it's like, no, I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be talked to. I don't want to be touched. Nothing. Leave me alone. And to an extent, I can understand that. But I'm here to be a little bit in your face and let you know that you have to kind of break this pattern, because there's so many instances in life where you're going to have to face the world, and you can't let something like this stop you. Now, at the time, I thought getting rid of my acne and, clearing up my skin was impossible. Like I thought it was never going to be able to, or I was never going to be able to achieve this. So first I want to say is like, yes, it's possible to clear your skin. It's nothing out of this world. It's actually very, very simple. But the habits that you have to instill make it very, very challenging because, a person can only take on 1 or 2 new habits. And there's like maybe like half a dozen up to a dozen new habits that you have to take and have to put into play in order for you to clear up your skin. So that's one thing. But I definitely want to say that during that time when you're in your home or, your dorm or your apartment or whatever you want to call it, during that time, if you're there, that's okay. But what you need to do while you're there is you need to start taking steps to clear up your skin. Like you can't just stay there and wallow. And that's something that I would do all the time too. Like I would stay in my apartment and I would just wallow. I'd say bad things to myself. I wouldn't exercise. I'd still eat like crap. I'd still eat a variety of different like sweets and foods that just like weren't really good for me. And I would just do all these like bad and self-destructive things and partake in like self-pity and not do anything constructive to get myself out of that situation. And when you're in that situation, when you want to close out the blinds, when you're in that situation where you want to shut out the world, those are typically the times where you don't want to do anything either. You know what I mean? You just kind of want to sit there and stew in your bad feelings, but that's the time where you have to get active. So if you are in this feeling of like, I need to shut out the world, or I want to shut out the world, I want to close the blinds, I don't want to talk to nobody, I don't want to do anything, you kind of got to like shake yourself off and get out of that mood and get out of that situation. There's a couple things that you can do right now in order to start like taking steps to proactively clear your skin, okay? So the first thing you want to do is you want to get your mind right. You want to start seeing yourself as having clear skin. Now, I know that might be a very difficult thing to do because you've probably never seen it with your own eyes. Now, in my case, I didn't see myself with clear skin for like anywhere between like 15 and like 18 years. Like I almost hit 2 decades of just like constant breakouts. So a lot of you might be dealing with like, I can't really fathom myself with clear skin, but you got to start thinking of that. All right. You start saying it and eventually you're going to start kind of like visualizing it. That's first, because you need to get your mind to the place where you want your body to go. All right. So, and that's just kind of like goal setting 101. The second thing you need to do is you need to start taking steps to actually clear your skin. So one of the things you can do when you're in that feeling of like, or let's say you are in your apartment right now, or you're in your place right now, and you're in that feeling of like, I just don't want to go anywhere. Like you need to actually put on some running shoes and go outside and go for like a jog or something of that nature, or exercise or whatever you want to do it. And the reason why I say this is because when you go for a run or a jog, you're typically by yourself. No one's bothering you. No one's going to talk to you. You're not at the gym where everyone's in your face and you got your headphones in and everyone wants to like chat and, you don't need to do that. When you're outside and you're running, you're kind of killing a couple birds with one stone. first thing you're doing is you're sweating. So you're like naturally exfoliating your skin and you're clearing your pores, which is great. You know what I mean? You're creating collagen, which is helping new skin regenerate. That's awesome too. And the last thing you're doing, which is probably one of the best things, is you're regulating your hormones. That's another thing that you can start doing right now to start clearing up your skin so that one, you're not in your house the whole time, and two, you're taking steps to get to where you want to go. The third thing that you can do in order to start clearing up your skin right now is drink water. You want to drink water before and after anything you eat or anything you drink. For the most part, you want to kind of cut out juices and sodas until you completely clear your face, but you want to drink water before and after you eat anything. The last thing you want to do is you want to make sure you moisturize your face. Well, you want to wash and moisturize your face once a day, and typically you want to do this at night. You don't want to overwash your face, so you wash your face once a day, but you also want to make sure that you moisturize so that your skin is still nice and soft and all that stuff that's on the inside can come out as easily as possible. So those are 4 things that you can do right now to start clearing up your skin. This is going to help you in a lot of different ways because the first thing you need to do is you need to get your mind right. Then you also need to get your body right. Okay, so once you start doing these things, you're going to naturally feel better. And if you stay consistent with these things, you're going to see that you're going to get results. You're going to see that your skin is going to clear up, and you're going to see that you're ultimately going to feel on the inside a lot better because, you know, at the end of the day, the goal is not to clear your skin. The goal is to feel better. It's to get that weight off of your shoulders that's just like, I have acne. You know, that's what you kind of want to get rid of. But in order to do that, you can't just clear your skin because even after you clear your skin, you still might have those thoughts in your head circling and circling and circling. You want to start feeling better on the inside, and that's what's ultimately going to give you a much better view of yourself. Anyways, guys, this is Brian here at Acne Be Gone. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want daily tips, articles that I recommend that you should read, and our weekly videos, you can also check out my Facebook page, Acne Be Gone. Hit the like button to follow us. And lastly, if you haven't done so already, go on theabgoutlet.com. It's a one-stop shop for all your acne fighting needs. Be sure to check it out. We also have a daily blog on that website as well. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next week. Talk to you soon. Later.